got that extra damage going on, he dies, whether he can attack or not, because he can't move, and you end up with this situation where you've got this big hero with bonus attack damage to large heroes, the bigger they are, as you mentioned, just crushing him down, and they couldn't find anything with it. He was really the only range damage. He was kind of like this impervious mage because he's inside of Chol. He's attached, but let's just move that game out of our minds as we go into map number 3. It's going to be the third map pick, potentially the last for Miracle on Sky Temple.
And we did move that game away, but let me just bring it back for a second. Not that BlossoM played it terribly. We did criticize the Taikas not banning out when they were going to choose Cho'Gao, but it was actually Miracle. I took a closer look at their skill shots from Dami, Darvish, Crazy Moving. They are so good at the moment. I think they have stepped up within that time of practice time.
In the very first fight, the detainment strike was solid. Hit Cho'Gao into the wall to get that stun.
Well, Cho'Gao is not the hardest target to actually hit.
Sure, but I mean,
but still,
that's not a point for them. It's a point against them.
Yep.
Did not work out in our most one-sided game of the evening. We'll see if BlossoM can bring it back here as we see the Instaluck Zeratul ban here. Probably looking to grab Falstad again, I imagine, for no chat as their first pick on this very map.
Falstad or Zarya would still be okay.
Problem with Zarya is you'll probably have the Vala Ariel taken away from you if you do it. But then you could push down a more global comp, but Zarya doesn't pair too much with that. I think they're trying to think about if there's a way they can make this work, similar to how we saw this earlier tonight with the Zarya picked up later. It's going to be the Falstad instead, as I expected.
They're going global, and hopefully not blast this time, and not a game ending before they hit level 10. Miracle did pressure super hard in game number 1 and 2, and crushed down from the beginning of the game. Maybe it's time to switch gears and try to think into a longer game where they can come back at later levels of the map.
Okay, so they're going to give the Vala Ariel over by taking Dahaka for global and getting Muradin super early. Zarya will be banned here, obviously, to stop the trifecta.
After seeing that Vala insta-ban.
Again, we don't always see, the triple when you have a second DPS here, but with no chat's hero pool, makes a lot of sense. With the ban on Malfurion highlighted here, this leads me to believe they want to use Stage Dive for ETC as a secondary global on this map.
Yeah, and just also overall, Malfurion is still one of the best supports.
Moving over to the Hammer highlight, though.
Targeting Crazy Moving Sergeant Hammer.
They already have 2 DPSs, so I like this idea a little bit more than just banning the Malfurion.
Choking the DPS.
Yeah.
And this is the second time we saw the Dahaka Muradin pick up from Miracle. Let's see how many more times you actually see them picking those. Double warrior, double tank from the first pick day. Before the long break, this phase number 1, they've been putting the DPS, Vala, Tassadar, and Tracer up on the top. They always showed what they wanted to do from the beginning of the draft. Feels like they really changed what they wanted to do along with the style of the drafting, and they are going with the tanky frontliners first, the obvious picks, and then hiding. They can have the other team try to pick what they want, really not give them the 100%, but still take away some with the bans, but also have their own team comp at the okay.
Well, that's the answer
exactly
for
what we want to see.
This is what they're looking for in terms of DPS range wise. Lunara with her ability to, which is obviously kind of balanced in that she does quite a lot of DOT damage with her regular attack damage, but also has the spells to back it up. Li Ming gonna help finish off those weakened targets that take the DOT. And one of the issues with this, I guess, is that Lunara's damage usually it's centered in one area, which Ariel does very well against. So we'll see if this is good enough. Taking some creative liberty, I would say Miracle is with this one. Sometimes when you have this lockdown where you have Vala taken away, Falstad's taken away, and you've got Hammer already removed. You end up with this weird auto attack heroes. That's when we see the Raynor slip in sometimes. It's going to be the Lunara this time. So BlossoM, are they going to pick that ETC up? They hovered the Malfurion ban, so that leads me to believe that's definitely where they're locking it. But the question is, with what? And we're looking for Wiz's hero here, and it's going to be Arthas and Johanna.
Okay, strong, just protecting Falstad and Vala on from the back line. Arthas, Johanna also cancels that auto attack, so going against the Lunara a little bit, but the poison damage still comes in.
Definitely not a bad pick. I like this idea. She's got really good wave clear. Arthas going to help slow Lunara down. Already a fairly vulnerable hero. The Howling Blast can be really strong. And this seems to be the best chance yet BlossoM's had in terms of their compositions going into the draft in this third game. But it's Sky Temple. This map can end very quickly. They need to be sure that they have a strong early game, or Miracle should just snowball their way into a 3-0 here in our second match of the evening. Our last match for tonight, BlossoM versus MVP Miracle. In blue, on their last life in this best of 5, BlossoM has Scarlet on Oriel, Dudu on Vala, Wiz on Arthas, Judy on Johanna, and No Chat once more on Falstad.
In red, the dominant MVP Miracle, Honkona on Muradian Dami on Dehaka, Sniper on Liming, Crazy Moving on Nara, and Darvish on Malfurion.
Sniper with the pleb horse, but Honkona repping Tempest here on his own victorious mount, and the respect mount coming out from Judy. He basically supported Honkona directly with that mount purchase. That's why everyone should go every time, every season when they come out and buy the defending champion mount.
Yep, support
pro gamers. I still have the Cloud9 mount, as much as it pains me.
It is painful, of course. We'll see what the next mount will be after the mid-season and the next BlizzCon.
That's the question. Okay, so this early game, I'm going to see the duo ranged actually hitting bot, punishing the solo laner with this lane swap. That's a pretty advanced technique that we see around the world, but in Korea a lot, where you try to punish the Dehaka with 2 DPS to keep him busy because he's just going to win the lane no matter what in terms of wave clear. So you really force him back to the tower and rotate out, as you just saw. Up here at the top, though, the counter is done here to Wiz. They immediately respond to this. 2 versus the solo laner to 2 versus the solo laner. You know, fight fire with fire. Honkona in position to punish any rotations up, as he's so known for. This is what I talk about when I say he's a scouting tank player, generally speaking. He hides in the bush, he threatens these ganks, he catches rotators, he unmounts people. Dismount, that's a proper word for that. But yeah, you get my idea.
Yep, and No Chat staying on that same lane. Both having global, but Falstad would need to fly over at any time, and Nara, Arthas joins the fight from the top.
Already in the bot lane, you could see Dami has taken back control of the solo because he is that very, very push-heavy Dehaka down there, as Honkona is not afraid of anything. He's just going to go ahead and start regenning his health. No autos to stop his trait. While all this is going on, of course, Wiz is soloing this top shrine. He's just a little bit behind. There is going to be a slight invade, though, because all the mid-pressure that's going on here, it's going to be tougher for BlossoM to rotate up to defend him. I really like how Miracle is playing this. They're going to control mid while denying top to try to get about a half extra of temple shots here.
And when they finish up the middle temple, they can all gather up and try to go for the top again. And No Chat just use the flight to come up on top.
So even if they don't get it now, they've already got about a 20% lead in shots, and now they're getting extra soak bot and even mid, as No Chat is indecisive as to whether he's going to rotate up. During all of this, Honkona was trying to slow this down, gets away. Nice attainment strike here on Dami, but he rotates up now with the brush stock. They want to get the last shots. They fail. See if they can get some picks to make it at least worth their rotation. Even if the answer is no, Dami got a whole 2 sets of extra waves That's why they're up an entire level in EXP, so much closer to 7. They had so much pressure in this mid lane the entire time, nearly killed the mid fort with that mid temple. And BlossoM is going to have to kind of set up here again, understanding that they're going to be a talent tier down for the next fight.
Yeah, BlossoM has been down for all 3 games against MVP Miracle. And maybe this one feels like they are not as aggressive as before. Maybe this one, as we mentioned, they're trying to slow things down, maybe try to look for a longer game, try to look for holes when they're behind, and try to get some picks off of MVP Miracle. That seems to be the way to go, especially with this kind of team comp that BlossoM has. Like Falstad can come over and gust just 1 or 2 off away from the team in this position and target down those 2. Especially a Malfurion or Leeming would be a great target to pick off.
This is a really a heavy amount of pressure here from BlossoM in the bot lane. And you could tell how Judy's moving, that he really wanted this to stay that way. But unfortunately, with all the siege that Crazy Moving and Sniper have here, it's not long for this world, that push. And BlossoM has made the talent tiers competitive. They're 7 and 7 currently. No Chat's going to get this extra soak, the extra stacks, as Miracle is going to set up to take this camp. Control vision. Neither team able to kill the well going to this next shrine, which will almost certainly determine who gets heroics first. Looks like Miracle is going to have Crazy Moving work on this wall. They can get this wall and the mid fort. That's really going to put the extra pressure on. Honkono spots this, actually. This rotation over to the Knights. He's going to go for the steal. Unfortunately, no one is going to take the bait. Dami coming up, though. And will BlossoM stop this? No, they cannot. And 2v3. They just walk up and take it.
What an aggressive play.
Cleanse goes down, but
even our observer is freaking out now.
Yeah, Cleanse goes down. He does barely survive, but that was scary.
Honkono just went in like a boss, and BlossoM thought, oh my gosh, they're all coming in. And when Miracle really needed like 3-4 more seconds to actually join and fight into that, Honkono was just so brave going in, and BlossoM could have thought, something's up here. We have to disengage.
They knew at the least Dami was going to be there, but I feel like they could have defended a little bit more confidently with the vision that they had of the other heroes on the map, but there was definitely a panic moment there.
Yep, they're already 2-0 down. I think that also affected a little bit, and Miracle just hit level 10. This will be a free temple at bot. Honkono just has to sit here.
Yep.
And he's not picking it at the moment. Maybe a haymaker? He is the man with the haymaker.
That would be fun. I would enjoy it. However, I will doubt. I will have doubts about the chances of him picking that, as perhaps even the UI has bugged out about here, because I don't see even the 10 there probably, but I'm sure he just hasn't locked it in yet.
Yep, he always does that. He's the man.
All right, so Scarlet's really risky position there, but immediately gets the detainment strike he needs to escape. You're going to see the collapse attempt here onto Dami. He's already healed himself up, and now he's going to maybe try to turn this. No globals to help come up here and save him. Gets a nice drag here onto Wiz. Now the rotation is coming up. Yep. Burrows again.
And Lunara is a fast-paced runner there.
Yep,
and even having the leaping strike, so he can go over any time.
This may have been overextension for BlossoM. A huge orb connects with no chat there. It's going to force him to Hearth home. They have heroics now, so we're tied up a piece to, each. As Honkono still hasn't locked in his heroic. And things are looking finally for BlossoM on an even tier. They absolutely could take fights now. They could take objectives here. This is a very aggressive push on the top from Sniper and Dami. No one rotating up now. No chat, just kind of babysitting the bot lane. Here's the commitment, though, onto Wiz. Doesn't take too much damage. Meanwhile, Honkono does finally lock in the Avatar. All right, so the poke battle here, they just want to knock this fort down. They're basically just, while they're even, farming a little bit and trying to keep their lead without taking too big of a risk, waiting for the next temple phase, because they've been outplaying BlossoM in the temple phases so far, mostly because of talent tier advantages, but they want to keep it that way going forward. Honkono's also going to posture around aggressively, but this time, no follow-up, not going to actually steal the Siege Giants.
I think Honkono has changed a little bit. He's not overextending too much. Of course, again, we're talking against BlossoM, but we saw him getting way too overextending, especially when he played some variants in the beginning phase. of the season. And Hankana seems about right on that Muradin. Probably one of the best Muradins in this world.
Okay, Dami. I hope this be a double cap for the time being. Hankana not afraid of anything here, so the double cap continues. Dami can rotate down at any moment.
That's right. There's so many bushes waiting for Dami here. BlossoM has to be careful. And Falset is also here trying to soak in for damage, and there comes Dehaka.
Unfortunately, the Detainment Straight hits him, so not going to get much out of it. Hankana's forced to Avatar here, but look at how much pressure Dami is putting on just right in the front lines here on Wiz and Judy. Burrows in, Sniper trying to get a kill here, trying to get those resets. We're going to see Hankana have to come in here because there's too much damage onto Dehaka. Finally, the first kill goes down for BlossoM, and they will win this exchange.
It was a 12-13 fight over talent. BlossoM just focusing down on the right target.
That was scary there. Had there been an orb, that might have been a takedown.
Yeah, you're right. And great. Johanna really hit that. Judy really hit that skill shot, and he is, whenever we speak.
Oh man, Judy goes down immediately here. And this is just the mechanical lead for Miracle here. You could see it showcased. Now Wiz going to get burned down by Crazy Moving. No way out of this one. They want to cut their losses here. No Chat gets hit by the Calamity. Will he get sniped by the Disintegrate? The answer is no, not this time.
Very close.
But it looks like it's just going to be the double take for Miracle as they split off and regroup. Ouch. This has been the best game for BlossoM yet, though, I would say. Taking that fight, abusing Dami's aggressive positioning.
Yep, it is past minute 10, and they are 2 levels down still. And all these temples will do a lot of damage to the bot lane and the middle. They will be going towards that fort when they hit 16 very soon. But loving the crazy, not crazy, plays of Crazy Moving coming out forward as Lara. He has been a player that overextends sometimes whenever he tilts. Would be the right word here.
Auto-lock Chromie, anybody? But look, he's had one of the best KDAs of all ranged assassins in Korea since the beginning of Heroes of the Storm.
Yes.
You know, professionally being played in Korea. So it's no surprise that he could play a very good Lunara here. He's very positional based and not very forgiving in terms of being caught, because she doesn't have much of an escape despite her move speed being high. Dami's actually going to solo this Night Camp to the top to do some counter pressure before brush stalking in here. Okay. This is really greedy for BlossoM. I really liked what they did on Cursed Hollow when they took it, but this I feel is almost unnecessary. Big silence coming in here.
And Wiz is almost caught. And very low, it is actually Johanna blowing up. Both tanks gone. No Chat Gus to disengage. They already lost the fight. And this boss is going for a miracle for sure.
Look at Crazy Moving. He's coming over the left side, pushing them away. Eats a big hammering there, but that's going to be it. That's the boss. That's 16. And Hankana wants to kill here onto Dudu. Will he get it? Dives in. Nice detainment straight, but Crazy Moving has a leap. He could go for it, but no. Now with this keep, not going to commit. Nice dodge there by Dudu as well. The orb threads the needle there. But the boss is pushing, and they're going to preemptively remove these minions for the boss to come over and start working on the keep. The Night Camp that Dami soloed before engaging the boss is also pressuring the top keep wall.
And now the boss is here. This keep will go down for sure. It is 13-16, 3 levels down. BlossoM is the one that needs a miracle here. Judy goes engaging in. Sniper teleports away. Hankana is the only one, and Dami also doing some damage. Grabbing onto Scarlet for the seconds.
Well, here comes the first dead keep. 4-level lead now for Miracle as they push forward. Good Aegis here, but it might not be enough at the end of the day here. Dudu gets saved for a moment, was eventually get taken out. Miracle, several members low, but they just have these resets now going forward. Crazy Moving, gonna help push Judy back. He's gonna get killed, he can't go anywhere. He's going the wrong way, but there was no way out of this one. And this will either be game or a second keep, depending on how Miracle wants to play this. Looks like they're just going to go right for the core. So in our longest game of this series, Miracle will dominate once again on one of our quickest maps. Boom! Down goes Falstad. Wow. Scarlet is going to be the last to die.
Deleted.
And that is going to be GG.
This almost looks like my Brawl games here.
Yeah, it feels that way. The leap into the Hall of Storms knocks Crazy Moving out, but it won't matter. This is going to be a 3-0 victory here for MVP Miracle, having a better start to this second split here than their first in HGC Korea, as the core will go down And that is going to be at GG. A 3-0, a much-needed 3-0 for Miracle with their position currently in 6th place at HGC Korea. And only need every win they can get, but they need every map win that they can get. And this is exactly what they wanted.
Definitely a better start compared to their very first day at HGC Korea back in February. So